Hi, how are you doing today? My name is Murli, and in this video I'm going to share with you 5 far-reaching time management problems you are not aware of. And if this video is not going to shock you, I do not know what will. Welcome to Citrin's channel, your ultimate guide to success mindset for business owners and entrepreneurs. And as your online breakthrough consultant, this is my promise to you. By the end of this video, the way you will look at time management will completely change and thus totally transform your life. Well, let's get started. Problem number 1. You have limited time. Well, let's take the case of a baby, a newborn baby. Hypothetically, if the baby lives for 100 years, it will have only 5,214.29 weeks. And if you are 20 years old, you will have only 4,171.43 weeks. And if you are 30 years old, you have just 3,650 weeks. And if you are 40 years old, you have 3,128 weeks. And if you are 50 years old, you have just 2,607.14 weeks. Now you do the math. How old are you? How many weeks are left for you? Well, you have already used a sizable quota of weeks in your life. And depending on your age, you have that many few weeks left to use. Well, weeks are precious. How are you using them? How was your last week? Was it a ho-hum week or was it a spectacular week? Problem number 2, your standards are not high enough. And if your standards are not high enough, your week will suffer. There are 3 predicaments here. Number 1 is that you're not focusing on things that matter. Number 2 is that you're not focusing on all categories of your life. You're missing out on them. And 3 is that you have not set high standards for each of those categories in life. When I talk about categories, what are they? So what are the different categories of life? Your physical body. Just look at it. Are you obese? Looking at your physical body will tell you what kind of a standard you have set for it. Your mind, are you learning and growing? Are you reading? Are you learning and growing? If that's not happening, you have set low standards. Your emotions, well, are you in a pissed off mood most of the time? Or is your primary emotion fear? Well, if you have negative emotional states, that's kind of marring your week, then your quality of your week comes down. What about your relationships? Do you have a passionate relationship that thrives and grows? If you do not have that, your standards are low there. And your spirituality. Well, are you contributing? Are you growing? If you're growing and contributing, no matter what your beliefs are, then your spirituality has high standards. If not, you have set very low standards. And finally, how are you using your time? Are you filling these weeks with trivial activities that doesn't matter? Or are you filling these weeks with fulfilling activities that add value? Well, all these choices coming out from various categories will define the quality of your week. Problem number 3, you're shrinking the weeks you already have. And that's because you have set low standards in these categories which we talked about, and also you do not have rituals and habits. Do you exercise? If you do not exercise, it directly affects your longevity. Are you sleeping well? If you are not hitting the sweet spot of 7 to 8 hours, then that directly hits longevity. Because if you sleep less than 7 hours or if you sleep more than 8 hours, and that impacts longevity, and that's what the study says. What about relationships? Are you hanging out with friends, or are you sitting alone, isolating yourself? If you're isolating yourself in front of a computer or just connecting with people through texting or through email and with little direct one-on-one human contact, then that affects your longevity. And what about substance abuse? Are you drinking? Do you drink alcohol? Do you smoke? Well, those bad habits too affect your longevity. Problem number 4, you're not going after what your soul desires. You're filling your weeks with trivial activities, urgent activities, but not focusing on things that actually matter to you. Well, do you have a purpose? Do you have a vision? If you do not have a purpose and a vision, then your weeks will be filled with activities that are not connected to what your soul desires. And that can be disastrous. Problem number 5, the way you define yourself, your identity is outdated. Check your language. Do you say that I am lazy? I cannot control my time? I am disorganized? I am fat? I am shy? And so on. All these are identity statements. And when you have an identity level belief, it will take on a mind of its own and sustain itself no matter what. Your values and beliefs and identity are your glass ceiling beyond which you cannot break through. Well, your identity, values and beliefs, most of them are unconscious, and that's what's alarming. In addition to that, these values and beliefs have been set during your imprint period. That's when you were 0 to 7 years. Well, if you're not examining them, it's affecting you. It's affecting the way you handle time, and it's affecting the way you fill in those weeks, and thus your life. Let me summarize for you your 5 major problems. Your time is limited, your standards are not high enough, you're shrinking the weeks you have, not going after what your soul desires, and your identity is outdated. Now, how you fill your weeks with activities define the quality of the week, and also defines whether your week expands or the week shrinks. When I say week expands or shrinks, I'm talking from the number of weeks point of view, because the quality of your life depends on the way you handle these weeks. If you exercise well, you eat wholesome food, you have good relationships, you sleep well, you do activities that matter to you, going after your vision and purpose, and you have good relationships and you connect with your friends, then you're having meaningful weeks ahead of you. However, if you are stressed up, if you are focusing on things that doesn't matter, then it's a problem. Deep down inside you, you know very well that your weeks are going unfulfilled. Your life is becoming empty, emptier and emptier, and that will impact your longevity and also impact the quality of life. The way you handle weeks ahead depends on your vision, your purpose, your habits and rituals. Well, if you have these things in place, then you have a chance to fill your weeks with high value adding activities for yourself, for your family, for your business, and also for the planet. However, if you are approaching these weeks at random, then it's a problem. And I'm sure you like this video, and I would like you to go there and click the like button and share this video with your friends, because this video talks about very important concepts, and maybe, who knows, your friends may completely change the course of their lives. Well, do join our Facebook group, Success Mindset Mastermind Group. Well, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to fill these weeks with meaningful activities and how to plan these weeks ahead so that you have a life that is spectacular in all respects. Well, see you in the next video. Have a great day.